What's up, Liverpool fans? Welcome back to Yanks of the Cop. We are here, Friday's final word. Agenda-free episode, talking about all the latest news and gossip surrounding the Reds. As always, we are your hosts, Wahomie and Steve. Wahomie, how you doing this Friday night?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Good. Excited for Saturday, and it's good to see Henderson back in training today. So, yeah, I'm feeling good.
Coming down to Sunday, last match of the year to determine third, fourth, and fifth place. I think it's not fun being a part of it. Hopefully next year we'll be talking about being in first place, but it's pretty crazy. It should be a crazy even ending to the season. Chris Welch, welcome in. Appreciate you hopping in here. But homie, let's just kick it off with your final thoughts just on that Burnley 3-0 victory.
Yeah, also when you think about it now, it feels it felt really good, the fact that we won that game. It was a massive, crucial game for us to win. The feeling going into that Sunday game against Crystal Palace, we turned down the fans after that Burnley win. It feels good. At least we are going in knowing that it's more or less in our hands. And there's pressure on someone like Chelsea, who, if they don't beat Villa and we beat Palace, we can finish third. So, it feels good, the fact that, we're going into that game with things in our hands.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, we're kind of playing with house money. No one expects us to make it this far. That's okay. Oh, no, I don't need it. So, no, it's all good. I'm doing it right here. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. But no, I think we're in good hands here. I think for us, there's no pressure on us. No one expected us to be here. Now it's all in our hands. We're at home with our fans against Crystal Palace. I think it's setting up really nice for us. And especially a team like Leicester, there's going to be a lot of pressure on them to not bottle it for the second straight year. So I think we're in good shape. But Steve from Somerville, welcome back, man. Appreciate having you. Mark Flanagan, you as well. Seamus. Again, all you guys, just all consistent. We appreciate you all. John MC, hit that like and subscribe button if you guys haven't yet. But Chris Welch here, hopefully no surprise injuries before the final day, I beg. Actually, I wanted to bring that up because they had training today. Didn't look like Phillips or Williams practiced today. There was no center back spotted in practice. Klopp said that everyone who was available last game should be available this game. It seems like it's kind of precautionary, but what are your thoughts on that? The fact that those guys aren't training just a couple days before the biggest match of the season.
Well, there is that rumor that Kabak should be back. So, obviously, if Kabak's back, then I'd start him and put him straight in there. But I think it's all precautionary. I don't think there's anything to worry about, really. Because obviously I think Salah as well, someone said it wasn't him, didn't see him in the training pictures either as well. So I think it's all precautionary. Obviously they've played twice in the space of a couple of days. So I think it's just making sure that no one's got any knocks or any muscle soreness, so that they're good to go the weekend. So I don't think there's really anything to worry about.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything I'm too concerned with either. Dave, welcome in. Alan, appreciate you as well. Love you guys. John MC, he thinks Mo's going to bag 3 and Ox is going to get the 4th for a 4-0 victory. I'd love to see that. I would definitely secure golden boot for our boy Mo, and I'd absolutely love to see that. That'd be absolutely great. But Chris Welch, I did see the story today that Kabak is eager to stay at Liverpool. No surprise. I mean, otherwise he's going back to Schalke, and I know obviously he's probably not going to stay there with a number of suitors and them getting relegated. But what were your thoughts on that, Wahomie, with Quebec wanting to stay?
I think it's like, yeah, I tweeted earlier that I think that with Kabak, I've said I'm not obviously the biggest fan of him, but I think he's done okay, but I'm not the biggest fan of him. But I think, look, if he's going to stay, then great. But I just feel that I think Sunday's his last game, to be honest. I just don't see us buying him, purely because I don't think the money's there for it. And I think that's down to not just Champions League. I think it's down to the Konate deal, having to pay that fee up front. which Liverpool obviously trying to negotiate out, but I think Leipzig want the money straight up in one go. So I think, it might be the case. Yeah, he might want to stay, but whether he does stay is two different things. So I think, this Sunday will be his last game. I'd love him to stay, purely because I think we need two centre-backs this summer, and I don't think if we sign Konate, I don't think there's anyone else that's going to be coming in. That's another, like, a really Konate level centre-back. So I'd want him to stay, but I just feel that he's probably going. And plus, I heard there's quite a lot of teams like Dortmund, Milan, that are interested in Kabak. So I think it could be the case where he doesn't go back, and we stick with Phillips because we were realizing, okay, if we sign Konate, then we don't have the money for two centre backs, especially when we want to buy in midfield and up front. So I think it's going to be that way. So it's a shame, but it is what it is. I just don't think obviously the funds are really there.
Yeah, exactly. I think Chris Welch says it well as well. It's you could spend that $18 million elsewhere. I think that's what ultimately, like you said, that's what it's going to come down to. And especially when you have a guy like Nat Phillips who's proved himself, he'll probably stick around unless he wants to leave and get like more regular first team football, which he definitely has earned that right. But then I was reading two different articles today saying that, believe it or not, the ghost himself, Ben Davies, might still have a future at Anfield. I saw two different articles today that were referencing that, and that he could still be on the team next season, even through preseason, and just be our big depth option, which I'd be shocked with. Again, it's clear in my opinion, and I think all of our opinions, that he was brought in just as a super stop, like safety valve, but the fact that a guy like Reece Williams is getting playing time over him, I think that kind of shows everything. So I was really surprised to read those articles saying that he might be on the team next year, because I think if he had the quality, he'd be playing already.
I think if we get an offer for him, he's gone. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. Because Klopp's already spoken about other players who he says that they've still got a place at the club. If you get offers to them that we deem acceptable, they're gone. So I don't buy it that either one of them that he's going to be there, or some of the other ones are going to be there next season. So it all depends on if we get the offers we want. Otherwise, I think they're gone. I just don't see why we would keep Davies. What's the point? Like, he's not going to just want to. He ain't going to want to sit on the bench again for the whole of next year. So I don't see it. I think he's a stopgap signing we got. And if we get anything like $5 million for him, or $6 million from like a Celtic or a Cardiff, one of those teams that are interested last time, he's gone.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. I mean, especially a team like Burnley was looking at him too. If they want him, I could see us selling them to him as well. Wouldn't be surprised at all. But then I know also I love this here from 1892 Reds podcast. The Kitman's retiring. That could be Davey's news job. Yeah, I think he was he's been like the Kitman for something like 30 years or something. So shout out to him. Definitely best of luck after that. But yeah, Chris Welch, I can't really see him being with us next season as well. Maybe he'll be around for preseason for depth and for some of the games, but then get rid of him after that. I can definitely see that.
I was surprised if we say, like I said, I think there's quite a few players I'll be majorly surprised. It's either we priced them out of moves, or we haven't got the interest we wanted in them. But I'll be surprised if he's there.
But yeah, Chris Welch, I did see some more nonsense Mbappe rumors as well today. I did see those. I even saw one that said Mbappe was more likely than Harry Kane, which I don't think either one of them are very likely. But the fact that, again, we keep being talked about, I keep seeing things that, he's delaying his contract negotiations with PSG to see if Liverpool qualifies for Champions League. I keep seeing that stuff, but I don't see us spending that much money on one player when we could spend the same amount of money on 3 or 4 different players who could all impact the squad. So completely right there with you, Chris Welch. I don't see that happening. And Mohamed, I don't think you do either.
No, I think it's nonsense. I know people are pushing it and they keep going about it, but I just don't see it. Even if his fee is reduced, I still don't see us paying what would at least be 80 million on him, plus his ridiculous wages, which are over like 250k a week, to sign. Now, if he goes anywhere, it's Madrid. That's Madrid signing all over. And they, so I just don't see Mbappe anywhere near Liverpool. Regardless,
Yeah.
I know people are saying that because um, Zidane's going to leave, that he might not go there. Still think, regardless if Zidane's there or not, Madrid are going to sign Mbappe because they always sign Galacticos, and the president will want a big signing this summer, especially with them not having won anything this year that's worthwhile. So, they need to make a statement this summer. And Madrid will just go to the banks as they always do and get a loan to sanction it, to, buy players. So I just don't see it.
Yeah, Madrid's going to do something big. I mean, like you said, losing in the semifinal of the Champions League, finishing third, I think, in La Liga. So, like, they got to do something to create some urgency over there. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mbappe is that guy. A couple of things in the chat. Gini20, welcome back. Appreciate you, man. And Magical Mo making an appearance. It has been a long time, mate. Welcome back. Appreciate you. But Seamus, he has the, I heard a Talisman rumor as well this week. He's been linked a lot. I think he'd be a really good fit, if you're looking for more of a like for like for a Gini replacement. But I mean, Home and I've kind of mentioned it a lot. Like, if we're gonna go midfield, I want to see somebody who's more creative and more attacking, not so much defensive minded. Someone like an Aurier or someone like that. But I know Wahomie agrees with me. Especially if that's going to be your only midfield signing, I wouldn't be happy with it, to be honest, just because it's more of the same, and we're still lacking that creative piece, going forwards. And Wahomie, I know that's something that you're passionate about too.
I think it's something. I think we need, obviously, as we mentioned before, quite a few times. We need someone that can score goals from midfield, that's not afraid to take long shots, and that is creative. Because I think, we've seen in some games, not a lot of games, but in some games where you have that creative spark where we struggled. So I think it's something we need, and also it reduces the dependency on the strikers always having to score. And I think we should be looking for that. But I think my one worry is, I think a lot of it depends on, obviously, on player sales, which obviously we saw last summer was a massive struggle in us. We overpriced a lot of players and we didn't get the prices we want for the certain players. So it also depends on that, and then it also depends on, but most depends on player sales to see if we get the funds we need. Otherwise, I think the club are going to target Basuma, which seems to be or Flora. If we can't get him, Floran Nihas, I think his name is. Yeah, I think they're going to target one of those two, which, look, I think they're good players, but I think obviously they're not going to help us solve our low block. And I think Klopp's going to hold out on Thiago and play him in an attacking role, which, again, I think, as I said, we mentioned the other day, the fact that, Thiago's not one for scoring loads of goals and assists. So he's very creative, obviously, but he's not one for scoring goals and assists. So yeah, I think it all depends on how much money FSG is going to really going to back Klopp, because that's what it comes down to it, And I think what's going to happen is always we're going to do the bare minimum rather than really fixing all our issues and wait until the following summer, because it's Liverpool way. We never fix all our issues in one go. It'll be we need 5 players. We'll sign 3 and make do, hoping that the squad can fix the other 2. Rather than saying, let's go 5.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree, and I think Sunday's match is going to be very big for that aspect as well. Like, knowing that you're going to be in Champions League again next year might make FSG more willing to spend a little bit more than they typically do. And when I say that, I don't think it's going to be a £300 million summer, something like that. But I think it might help them spend an extra 50 million, something like that, knowing that we're going to have that Champions League revenue coming in. A couple things in the chat here. Seamus, Aurier would be a great signing, but Lyon are a tough team to deal with. Yeah, we have learned that in the past, that they're a tough team to deal with. Leicester would demand big money for Tielemans for him, but we wouldn't pay the asking price. Yeah, and I think that's the problem. I think there would be a Champions League team somewhere that would be willing to pay those funds for him because he's proven to be a solid player. But Mark in the chat here, do you want Ox to stay? He had a good goal against Burnley. Honestly, I'd rather him go, but I got a feeling he's going to stay just because of his injury history. And if we're going to continue with a 4-3-3, I just think that's a tough formation for Ox. I think he's much better in a 4-2-3-1, being able to play in the 10 role. I think that's a much better fit for him. He's more natural in that position and allows him to not have to track back so much defensively. But I expect that we'll field calls for him. But he even said after the match that he wants to stay and try and fight for his position. So I think Klopp respects that, and I think he'll end up sticking around, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think only one of Naby or Ox will go. And I think it's probably more likely Naby. Purely because I think obviously Ox also helps with the English quota, the homegrown quota, or English quota thing. Ideally I'd sell both, but I don't feel that we're going to sign 2 centre midfielders this summer to solve it. So I think that's why we'll keep one, because I think if Klopp was told, look, you can sell both and I guarantee you the money to buy to bring in 2 centre midfielders in, then yeah, but we know that wouldn't be the case for Klopp. He'd be like, yeah, if you sell them, you're not getting another one in. You're only getting the one you signed, which the other one you signed with Basuma. So, and I don't think a lot of it actually is going to cost us that much. With some of the quoted fees for certain players that are going around, as seen for Owar, for example, his fees only like 25 million, 25 pounds. But I just think we're not going to spend. I think a lot of it you can get for 150 million. I just don't think we're going to spend that much in that case. So, but yeah, I'd rather one of them goes, and I think Keita should go today because he's injured again. If anyone offers 25 million for Keita, we need to buy the hand and kick him out. Because it's time for him to go. The guy's not. He's not since he played Atletico Madrid. All he's done is train. He's not played any games. All he's done is train since the Madrid game. So how is he injured? How's he got hamstring injury? All he's done is training. It's not as if he's played any matches. So if he's broken down in training, hamstring injury, then just get rid of him. I don't understand it. He's not playing any matches.
Yeah, especially after we gave him like a special training regiment, like different than everybody else, because he keeps getting injured. And that's like you said, he plays less than 45 minutes against Real Madrid and then can't see the field again because he gets injured in training. Like it's at some point you just gotta cut bait with them. And so I agree. If anyone even would have offered 30 million for him, I'd walk to the bank with that because he's just proven that his body can't hold up in the Premier League and what the Premier League standard is. And I think this is a really good point from Chris Welch. Like I agree that I would sell all of these guys. But to be fair, I think I'd be surprised if any of them leave, to be honest. Like I would like all of them to leave, but just because of our situation, if like Shaqiri's been close to leaving so many times and he hasn't, I have a feeling that they're all gonna be around, unfortunately, even though they're all unreliable.
I know, and that's the sad thing. The fact that I think that's where sometimes Klopp is too low to players to our detriment when he really needs to be a bit more ruthless and just do a call. Just say, look, can I trust these players? Are they fit and reliable for me? No, okay. Except for the last two games, Ox been fit for ages before that. And Klopp didn't play him. Didn't even bring him off the bench. So, are these players that he really says, look, I can actually rely on this guy for over a season? If no, then get rid of him. If the guy's only fit for 80% of the time, get rid of him. What's the point? You're more or less Ox. A lot of these players are on big money as well. Ox at least 100k a week. Matip's at least 100k a week. Keita is. Shaq must be at least 80. So it's not as if, over the year, that would probably save you, must be at least well over 10 million in wages.
Mm-hmm.
That could go to a player that is going to be fit.
Yep.
You can run. So I think, yeah, I'd want to get rid of them all, but I think at least only two of those will go. And the others, two will stay. I think two will go. I do think it's over one of Kate or Ox will go this summer. I just can't see both of them staying. I'll pissed off and annoyed.
I really hope you're right, man. I really hope you're right, man. I truly do. Both those guys just can't stay healthy. But, going back to the Burnley game, the last thing I wanted to talk about before we kind of move on to some of the other just like kind of random news that came out there was once again, and you were pretty vocal about it on the live watch along is again another match against a bottom team. Doesn't even matter that it's against a bottom team, but we just have lost the clinical edge, taking us way too many opportunities to go get a goal. And we did end up winning 3-0, but we easily could have won 5-6-0 if we just put balls on net like that. Their backup, that goalie that they had in there was just not up to standard, not a Premier League standard. I don't know if that Firmino goal should necessarily. I think a good goalkeeper like Nick Pope could have possibly saved that. I feel like we're very fortunate with this running of games that we have going against some bottom teams because of our lack of finishing. Because if we didn't get 15 opportunities a game, it'd be really hard for us to score right now. So, kind of goes back to our point. I needed another winger and a striker and a goal scoring midfielder, but. It's getting a little nerve-wracking, the fact that we keep blowing so many good opportunities to score goals, and I hope it's not another storyline that we talk about on Sunday.
Well, just imagine. I know it's never going to happen, but imagine we had someone like a Haaland like that. We'd be killing teams, like
yeah.
But even someone like a Donnell Marlon, I think we had someone like him that's a finisher. We'd be killing teams. We'd be winning like 3 or 4-0 in most games. On a regular basis, but it's frustrating. And I think against Palace again, I think we're going to have that thing. I think the players are going to be fired up by the fans because there's going to be 10,000 fans. But I think the case is going to be again like where we're going to miss chances, quite a few chances, just the way it is, and it's going to be frustrating as always. We might score 3 goals like we did against Burnley, but it will be one of those games where you think, we should have been like 8-0, because it's just the way it is. With you don't know the chance of winning create is going to happen, and the issue is, it's just some of them just aren't clinical enough. We know from Bobby's never been clinical, but we're also seeing that Mane's clinicalness is gone as well. So it's just frustrating the fact that we are having to experience that where we're just playing in a way that we just can't finish our dinner.
Yeah, I love that saying too. Just gotta finish our dinner. But so what, are you so with Sunday's outcome? Are you aiming for top 3?
I think so. I think Villa with Grealish back, with 10,000 fans behind them, could give Chelsea a fright. And I think that if they get a draw, as long as we win, we're third. So I think that we should be going in there saying, look, we can we should definitely beat Palace at home, and if Villa get anything, a draw, then we'll be laughing, because then we are third. And just imagine that, and I tweeted I think it was yesterday, saying that, look, for example, this is Man United's best season in a long, long time. We're 5 points off them, and we conceded less goals than them with half our defense out. This is everyone was hyping Tuchel up in Chelsea when they won a couple of games, but yet we can be the verge of finishing above them. I know they're in the Champions final, but we can still be in the verge of finishing above them. So, I definitely think we should be getting third, and we get third. That's a miracle from how we thought we were, 2 months back, that when we thought it was definitely over for us. So yeah, I definitely think that we should aim for third, and hoping that Villa get a result.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely hoping for Villa, just because I'd also just it would be very helpful if Chelsea were not in the Champions League next year in terms of like trying to sign players and things of that nature. They'd be ruled out of the Harry Kane race, stuff like that. But honestly, I wouldn't say I'm shooting for it, right? I mean, the only thing that we control is trying to get fourth with a win. So I want to win, but I'd be absolutely thrilled. I think it'd be absolutely massive for us to get third place. Not only just to be able to say all those things, but also you think about Champions League next year, being in a higher pot would be really helpful for us as well. A little bit more of a favorable group for us, but yeah, definitely hoping that they can go out and get a result. It would be absolutely hilarious if Chelsea spent all that money this offseason and don't make Champions League. So that's really what I'm hoping for. But then also too, it's like if we do win, then there's a chance that Leicester has bottled it again for the second straight year, and just goes to show, like, again, what I believe firmly is that Brendan Rodgers is a good manager, not a great manager. But I mean, it's definitely positive. I mean, Leicester's got Tottenham, Chelsea has Villa, we have Crystal Palace, but we still can't just overlook Crystal Palace either. Benteke could cause some problems, Zaha could cause some problems. We'll talk more about that tomorrow on the pre-match, but like you've been saying, we've got to finish our dinner. Chris Welch will be there in-house on Sunday, and like he says here, got to finish our roast dinner.
Yeah, we've got to be clinical. That's what it comes down to. We have to be super clinical and, just put Palace away, put them to the sword, because, Palace aren't in great form. They've got nothing to play for. We know how Hodgson's going to play. It's going to be negative, dire football, and they're just going to try and play on the counter-attack with Zaha. And, we've destroyed them at Selhurst Park, so we know we can do it. So just be clinical, put our dinner away. Going by what Chris Welch said, he said Leicester will beat Tottenham. Tottenham probably will get beat by Leicester, but will Leicester score 6 goals? No. So, that's the one positive thing. And we score 1 goal, it puts up every time for Leicester. So top 4 is guaranteed for me now. Leicester pull off a miracle and they win like 7-8-0, then top 4 is guaranteed for us. The only thing for me now is third place.
Just bloody win, Chris Welch. Just bloody win. That's all I want to see. Doug, welcome back, man. Appreciate you. Good to see you in here. But fun news: Stevie G elected to the newly created Premier League Hall of Fame. One of the first 8 members to join the Premier League Hall of Fame. Definitely deserved. Great to see him go in over guys like Paul Scholes, Frank Lampard. Oh, we see those debates all the time. So I'm absolutely thrilled for Stevie G to be part of the first 8 in this first class of Premier League players to go in there. Definitely well deserved. That thing showing there was a. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're breaking up, Steve. Yeah, I think with Stevie G, I've seen a lot of haters saying that he shouldn't be in it because he never won the Premiership. But then I think people forget to realise it's not about just winning the Premiership. It's about what he did, in terms of how he carried Liverpool to top 4 numerous occasions. Where it was like, it wasn't for Stevie G, it's Gerrard, we would have been nowhere near top 4. How he, carried a club for long periods. How he played, and I think that's the key thing. Is that he wasn't surrounded by world-class players like Lampard was or Scholes was. I'm not taking anything away from them. That they were top players, but he wasn't surrounded by top players like that. And he continuously produced, clutch moments, memorable moments against the big teams, small teams, every year when he was in his prime. And I think that's what people need to remember. The fact that all the top players have spoken about how great he was, how much of a world-class player he was. So, that's why he's in the team this season, because, he won everything but the Premiership, and, any rival can't take that away. The guy was world-class.
Yeah, I completely agree. Jurgen Klopp said it best. Like, Liverpool Football Club is what we are right now because of Steven Gerrard's legs. Like, if he ended up leaving Liverpool to go to Chelsea when he was close to going there, and Mourinho was the manager, I don't think our club is where we are right now. Sorry, I keep using the internet connection. I don't think we are where we are if Steven Gerrard wasn't part of this club. He may have not have won the Premier League, but he did a lot for us to get us to where we are now. And like you said, the comments from other players saying that, like, even like Wayne Rooney saying how in the tough England matches they would kind of lean on Gerrard and he'd pick them up. The fact that Mourinho wanted him at Chelsea when he had Frank Lampard already, the words that Sir Alex Ferguson has to say about him, absolutely world-class person, world-class player. And now he's shaping up to be maybe even a world-class manager as well. So definitely deserved. Very excited for him, and it's definitely a happy day for Liverpool fans everywhere seeing him in there.
Yeah. I just wonder if, I know it probably wouldn't happen. I wonder if they'd put Hippier in the Hall of Fame. He deserves to go in there. He was a legend.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Dugout here says it perfectly. People question Steven Gerrard Hall of Fame, just stop. The guy saved their asses on so many occasions. Greatest Liverpool player of all time. Was in the Team of the Year 8 times. Very true. That's, I don't know. Not many players can say they've been on the team of the year 8 times. Yeah, Chris Welch apparently met him his final season. Got a shirt from him on his birthday on his final season. That's amazing, dude. That's great shit. Good for you, dude. I'm so jealous of that. But I think the biggest news that came out this week was the announcement that LFC is going to introduce fan representation at the board level. The news here is that it's a consultation process will be enshrined in the club's articles of association. It's a legally binding agreement of understanding between the club and the official Liverpool Supporters Trust. I know that they'll have a word, like I say, ownership changes in the future. And also a big thing is that the Liverpool owners say that they'll pay for any Super League fines out of their own pocket and not have it come out of the club. So definitely a huge win for us. I think it's a breath of fresh air for a lot of people. Definitely a step in the right direction. Doesn't let FSG off the hook or anything like that, but it's nice that they've heard the noise, they've heard the feedback. They're trying to do the right things, and hopefully stuff that's happened like these last few months won't happen again, having these representation on the board. But what are your thoughts on that, homie?
I think it's good. One of the questions is obviously the Spirits of Shankly are the ones who are going to be elected. So, it's only one group of section of fans who are part of Spirits of Shankly. So are they a fair representation of all fans? And will they say what all fans want? That's one thing. Because only, the good thing obviously is the fact that they're going to do like they'll serve the people who are representations will serve a two-year vote. I don't think that's going to be all fans voting. That's just going to be Spirit of Shankly fans, members voting. So, but I mean, like I said, on the one side, it is good that they're going to have fan representation at board level, and I think I read in the Athletic they said that they will be able, anything that impacts the fans, they will have a vote and be able to veto changes. So that's good, because obviously the whole point, the downside was if there was just token gesture, because there's no point in them being in the boardrooms. They have no say whatsoever. So apparently they're going to actually have power, which is good. So yeah, I think on that side it is good. The club did what Arsenal did, and they actually listened to the fans, and they are, giving the fans more of a say. And I'm just hoping, obviously, that Spirits of Shankly actually do stuff that benefit the fans and not benefit their membership group.
Yep.
That's the one thing. Because like I said, it's not all Liverpool fans. It's just that membership group. So you're not part of Spirits of Shankly, then you're not really going to have a real say in that sense. So, yeah, hopefully that brings good. And I think the good thing as well is because it's going to be part of the club's charter, that even if the owners were to sell, then the fans' reputation would still be part of have boardroom say. So that's good, the fact that they put that in the club's official charter.
Yeah.
So I think it's only positive that they listen to him. Obviously, like I said, it's not going to fix things or get them off the hook, but it's a positive step that they're doing. So hopefully we won't see anything that's stupid in the future. Obviously, I don't think there can be a Super League now in the future because the Premiership made sure that there isn't that clubs can't join any Super League now going forward. So, that I think the Premiership from their side and the FA have stopped that anything, so no one can actually join a Super League. But if they're going to do anything like stupid, like put the prices up on fans' tickets, anything like that, at least the fans will now be able to veto it and say no, you can't put the price up or any kind of stupid shenanigans. And all the things good that FSG are taking the cost of the Super League because, like, why should Liverpool have to pay for it? So that's good. I only hope that doesn't hurt us in a different way.
Agreed. Yep.
Yeah, in terms of them giving us funds because I think, well, we've had to take this loss. I only hope it doesn't hurt us in that way because it really shouldn't because, they should absorb the Super League costs and still be like, look, we're still going to give you money, good big money because this is the summer where we're going to have to spend to challenge City for the league title next year. We want to win it again. We're going to have to spend. The answers unfortunately aren't in our squad. Obviously it's good to have Van Dijk and Hendo back, and they're going to and Gomez. They'll be crucial. But the answers aren't in the squad in terms of finishing our dinner. They're not in the squad, and the answers aren't in the squad in terms of goals from midfield or creativity. So, the only way is we're going to have to spend, and we have to spend on quality that comes in and that can challenge the starting 11, not squad players, starting 11 players.
Yep.
And that's going to cost. So, but if you want to win the league, get to the Champions final, we're going to have to do it. That's the only way. So, but going back to the fans thing, yeah, I think it's a good step. So, I give credit to FSG for doing that. I'd be willing to listen to that. So, but I'm still, unfortunately, FSG out.
I agree. I completely agree. And everyone in the chat, appreciate you guys. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't yet. Chris Welch, these American owners at the clubs aren't going anywhere. Exactly. They're going to be here for a while. 100%. He's not going to be able to make the team news watch along post-match, but I appreciate you watching it on repeat the day after, and they're going to be at the game, so bring us some luck. Kind of before we start wrapping up here at home, I wanted to bring this up as well. Seeing the Henderson slander on the timeline. We're in 2021. He's still getting underrated and disrespected. He's one of our most important players. I completely agree. I mean, I think this season really has highlighted how important he is to our team. We've said so many times that we're missing a vocal leader on the pitch, and he's that guy. He may not be super flashy, but his positioning is fantastic. He lifts the players up, maybe not so much as Steven Gerrard does, but he is an absolute leader. There's a reason why he's our captain. And, yeah, he's going to be a starter for years to come. He's not going anywhere. There's going to always be people who don't see his value, especially following a Steven Gerrard, people who just undervalue leadership in your starting 11. But he is instrumental to us. He's part of our spine. He's one of the most important pieces of our spine, probably next to Van Dijk. So he's not going anywhere. And if people don't appreciate him yet, like next season they will when they see how much better we start playing once everyone comes back from injury.
Yeah, I saw some idiot saying, that there was a photo of Henderson training today, and they did a tweet saying that it's the end of this guy, and the days are numbered for this guy. And it's like they're like, he can't play left centre midfield, he can't play number 6, he ain't going to dislodge Thiago for right centre midfielder, so he's got no place. And I was like, actually no, Thiago's going to go on the left, Hendo on the right. That's how it's going to be. So it's like, it was just normal hate because, like you said, Hendo isn't the most flashiest, or he doesn't do what Steven Gerrard did in terms of scoring like long range goals and all that kind of stuff. But like as you said before, we've seen how crucial Henderson is and how much we missed him and how much people forget Hendo's going to help Thiago bring out even more of him. Because he's going to be able to just focus on winning the ball higher up rather than having to track back and do all that defensive stuff. And also people forget Henderson allows Trent to get the bet out Trent because Trent has that cover. And he also allows Salah to not always have to track back and play high at the pitch. So if they can't see the value of what Henderson does, they're idiot fans, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think the point that you made about making Salah better, making Trent better, making Thiago better, it's exactly what he does, and that's what a captain should be. He's not your best player, but he brings the best out of other players, and that's why I'm super excited to have him back next season. It's going to be great. And you're right, Chris Wells probably not true fans there, but yeah, 10,000 fans in the stands on Sunday. Chris Welch will be one of them. Should be an absolute massive lift for the boys. I mean, we talk about it all the time. We're probably one of the teams. Everyone's been impacted, but we maybe we've been the most most impacted by it. But should be a huge lift, and I hope it carries us on. I mean, do you have any final thoughts on the fact that we have fans? I know we'll probably talk about it some more tomorrow, but
yeah, I think it's gonna be huge.
Hope they're loud.
Because remember when we had, I think it was 2,000 fans against Spurs, and how good we played then. So 10,000, I think it's 10,000 fans. That's huge, you know. And you're right, we have suffered because Liverpool are famous for the 12th man. We suffered in the Champions League. Like I think, in the Champions League we had fans in stands. Those games create magical moments, and they they help us put the ball in the back of the net, and they help us go to another level. And I think in a lot of games when we struggled this season at home, I think we have fans in the stands, and those games might turn out to be a different game. So I think having them tomorrow on Sunday is huge. And I think that's going to really be like we've got players who entertain us as well, like Bobby. These players love to entertain, they love to play in front of fans. So I see a big performance on Sunday because of the fans in the stands, and because of they're going to hear "You're Never Alone." You're going to hear the Thiago song finally. That's going to push it to another level. It's going to be Gini's last game. You're going to hear the Ronaldo song. So everyone's going to be buzzing that day. So I think it's only going to be positive, and it's the fitting that these fans could help us get third on a final day. So I think it's going to be huge.
Yeah,
especially like Chris is saying, especially for someone like Mane. I think he's missed the fans. When it's not singing the Mane song, he's missed the fans. So that's going to be crucial for him to kind of get that confidence back. So like Chris is saying, maybe we might see a different Mane because there's fans there, and he's gonna be buzzed off the electricity the fans bring.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Said it best. I can't add anything to that. I'm just excited to turn the game on, hear the fans. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be it won't still quite be the same, but it's going to be more closer to the norm of what we're used to. And I think it's going to be a huge lift for the fans. Just like he said, that Tottenham match that we had at home was absolutely massive for us. But before we close it out, the last rumor I wanted to address was the most solid of PSG. Again, I think a lot of the most solid stuff is a lot of smoke and mirrors. I expect him to sign another contract maybe this summer, get a little pay raise, and stay at the club longer. I mean, the only way I see him going to PSG if this would be a swap for Mbappe, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So what are your final thoughts on that before we kind of wrap up here?
I think it's nonsense, because I think I think Salah will be happy to stay at Liverpool. It's just down to Liverpool. There is, like I said, I tweeted the other day as well. The only reason why Salah leaves is if Liverpool push him out and don't reward him for what he's worth, in terms of salary. That's the reason why he leaves. Otherwise, it wouldn't be because Salah wants to go, because of FSG and the club haven't backed him in terms of what he's worth. This is a man that's got 30 goals contributions again. That's broken so many different stats. It's always, we always hear this person's got this amount of assists, but Salah's got more. This person got this and this, because Salah's got more. So, if Salah wants 250, just give him the money. He's deserved it. He's the one player this season that, has done his job in terms of scoring goals. Yep. So he's the best player at the club. Give him the money he wants. There's no debate about it. The first person giving you a contract, Salah. Then you sort of Van Dijk, then you sort of Fabinho. But the first person here, Salah, here's a new contract, because this guy could go on and break. He probably wouldn't catch Roger Hunt and Ian Rush because it's not enough games, there are too many goals. But he could definitely end up being like in the top 4 of all-time goal scorers. So I just said give him the money what he wants. And I think the other rumor I saw nonsense which was rubbish today was Dortmund want Mane for 60 million or something, but then Chris Williams rubbished it, saying don't have no interest in Mane. But there was loads of people pushing that story around today that Dortmund are going to buy Mane, but it's rubbish.
That one that makes no sense because they only buy young players now unless they get an old player from free. And a $70 million Mane bid would double their biggest transfer ever. The biggest transfer ever is 35 million pounds. So it's complete rubbish, complete stupid. I can't wait to have Chris Williams on when the transfer window opens. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's the one he said as well. Yeah, they're not going to break their transfer record on a 29-year-old 30 that's going 30 midfielder, like a winger. They have no interest in Mane whatsoever, and they're not even tracking him. So I don't know where someone made that rumor. I think maybe because it was the Sancho rubbish that they were putting out that he's leaving. So they thought, easy domino that Dortmund wants Mane, and that kind of it's just nonsense, rubbish.
Yeah, I expect to read something about Firmino in the next coming days now. Just to keep it consistent. Everyone in the front 3.
Yeah, it's just rubbish. The one thing I wanted to ask you, again, Liverpool won the Financial Fair Play Award. No, the Fair Play Award again for the second season. Do you feel that we lack bite because we don't get that many yellow cards and stuff? Aggressive, at times.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard, right? Because I don't think necessarily getting yellow cards means that you have to have bite. Like the lack of yellow cards. I think I do think we miss an edge sometimes. I think Suarez gave us a little bit of an edge sometimes. I think if Henderson was more available and if Milner played a little bit more, we do miss that person. We don't really have a person that will consistently go into a tackle hard. And there's so many times when things aren't going your way. If you just go into a tackle hard, all of a sudden the game can change like that. So not necessarily, but I do think we do lack bite. I'm not and again, I think it's it's probably not a good sign that we're the best in the league at this 2 years in a row. But
5 years. 5 consecutive years, it said.
5 consecutive years, yeah.
5 consecutive years. They've not received a red card in 2021, and have picked up the fewest yellow cards, 38 in the division again.
Yeah, I do think we definitely could use more physicality. If that means more yellow cards, then so be it. But yeah, I do think that we definitely miss a little bit of an enforcer type player, and I think it would do wonders for us. Going forward, if we had a player like that. So if that means having more yellow cards, then I think it does symbolize that. I haven't really thought about that too much, but that is an interesting stat. The fact it's 5 years in a row. We definitely could use an enforcer type of player, though.
I just think, sometimes, in the continent, when they talk about the dark arts, winning those intelligent free kicks or doing those dirty challenges, they get a yellow card, but they disrupt the opposition, knock them off their game. I think we lack that still overall, at times. We lack that player that does it for you. I think we could do the sort of player that gets stuck in. I know I forgot Fabinho, but obviously, I think that's the one thing we're lacking, that person who does the dark arts, that gives us that extra bite. So it would be interesting if we had a player like that, because I think it would make us more better in terms of when we're playing, certain teams at low blocks and stuff, where, or certain teams when they come to attack us, and we have a player like that who can slow down the game, waste time, do the tackles, So yeah, I think us not having high yellow cards again is interesting. And it does play a bite that maybe we're too nice at times. When we need to be come up with bite.
Yeah, especially early on in games. I think if you can do it early on in games, it sets the tempo. So maybe that'll change next year when we're all healthy. We'll see. But Chris Welch, enjoy the match on Sunday. Yeah, Wahomie and I will be back. Andrew will be on. I keep losing Wi-Fi. This is a perfect time to get out. Sorry for losing my Wi-Fi, everybody. But we'll be back tomorrow for our pre-match, Crystal Palace, last pre-match of the season. Make sure you tune in. If you haven't yet, hit that like and subscribe button. And then the full shows on Sunday, team news reaction, live watch-along, post-match reaction. Hopefully we'll be celebrating the Champions League berth. But we're your hosts, homie, Steve. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back tomorrow, everybody. Thank you so much. Up the Reds.
Up the Reds.